Microfilm, also known as microform, first made its appearance in the mid to late 19th century. However, it didn't become popular until the early 20th century. Microfilm is defined as a film bearing a photographic record on a reduced scale of printed or other graphic matter material. John Benjamin Dancer, an English scientist in the early 20th century, coined the idea. Even though Dancer coined the idea, René Dagrin, a French optician, was granted the first microfilm patent in 1859. Dagrin put microfilms to work with pigeons in the Franco-Prussian War in the early 1870s.
Even though microfilm had its early days, a New York investment banker, George McCarthy, didn't use it for practical reasons until the 1920s. He used the technology for his own machine, the checograph, which allowed the permanent film copies of all the bank records. However, in 1928, Eastman Kodak bought the technology. Kodak's company, Kodak, perfected it at 35 millimeters. He expanded the company in 1935 and began publishing in New York City. In the 1940s, during the World War II, microphotography was used for espionage, mail, and other military uses. The invention of microfilm allowed the military to record and archive political and military-based information. The major switch to microfilm came after both world wars due to destruction and lack of preservation of important government documents.
Microfilm was unlike any other devices during that time due to its compact size, but ability to store massive data. This led to the appeal to have microfilm in libraries and universities across the country. In the first libraries that used microfilm to preserve newspapers and literature, but soon after everything was being converted into microfilm due to its space-saving abilities. It is a small photographic film that tiny images of material, including printed pieces, are photographed. The idea of microfilm is to store an excessive amount of printed material into a small space. For example, each page onto microfilm that is only 35 millimeters wide can reduce entire book's contents photographically.
The major criticism with microfilm was its lack of visibility by the naked eye. If you wanted to view the document in full size, you would have to use a reader, which libraries lacked at that time. Another well-known disadvantage of microfilm was the expense of coloring. This expensive aspect of microfilm discouraged libraries from using it due to their lack of funds.
Microfilm's legacy will be most remembered by its storage and preservation abilities. The revolutionary invention was years before its time. It was one of the first digital archive system of its time. We store everything digitally, and microfilm was one of the most influential devices that led us to storing capabilities we still use today.